backup goal, and you move forward that way.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Zach Clayton. I'm the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward. This is our first of monthly meetings where we're going to be discussing with everyone who joins us. We're going to be discussing with them the process of the Community Pay It Forward fundraising program, and we're also going to be asking people what has worked for them, what has not worked for them. Right now, we've got a very, very short show. Right now, it's Mr. Z and myself, but we're hoping to be joined by a few other people. Mr. Z, how you doing, brother?
Can't complain. Glad to be here, Zach. Thank you.
That's great. I'm glad to have you. Mr. Z is now part of our board, which means he has got uh, lack of a better term, he's got skin in the game. He's got a dog in the fight. He's got a say in the so. So here we go. But our we just want to let everybody know that our intention is to get this as wide as we can. Okay, we want to be able to help anybody and everybody out there. And we have very few uh, restrictions on this. We do have a couple. This has to be something that is for the community good. It cannot have diversive reactions, and we're not going to be taking in politics or, hate groups or anything like that. That's not what we are. That's not what we're about. We're about coming together, and we're about trying to find a way to make that happen. Um, Mr. Z and myself, we are working on a couple things. We've got a couple, Mr. Z, you're hard on work when it comes to the website, keeping it updated. But we're also working on a couple forms. They're just jot forms that are going to make donating even easier. Finding a partner and donating, making any or just easier. Um, you are our web and technology guy. What do you think that we could do to possibly help other people? Right on. We've got Miss Kia Davis joining us now.
Hi.
Wonderful partners. Two New York, one Colorado guy. Look at this go. So, but so, Mr. Z, how would you like to? What would you like to say to people that you think could maybe make this work a little bit better and possibly help us with each other's SEOs?
Absolutely. If we can start promoting more upcoming events for those who are survivors of human trafficking, bringing awareness to our veterans and many others who want to bring causes to their nonprofits or their own businesses and see how they can provide their services to our communities that can help pay it forward. So, in summary, upcoming services, and if you are willing to give a small donation to the community pay it forward, I can't say that on behalf of your behalf, but of course, it's important to bring awareness to not just our services, but also the problems that we are facing today. Thank you.
Yeah, we're asking for you to add your event exactly as he was saying. Add your event or add an event that you sponsor. Add them to our calendar. We're going to be asking for a minimum bid of our donation of $5 that's going to go to Community Dare to Care, which means we can continue to tell people or help people with clothing, furniture, housewares, so on and so forth. And we can try to grow this even further. So we want to make sure that we're not only able to help people uh, where I'm at, where Mr. Z, where Kia's at, we want to get this to where we can help people no matter where they're at. And if we can do that by taking and collecting donations and getting them into the hands of people who need it, what a better way. There's no better way to get this done. So it's just one way that we can take and help each other out. Kia, do me a favor and could you please tell everybody what you do? Introduce yourself to everybody and tell them how you can help them.
Sure. So, hi, everyone. My name is Kia Davis. I'm the founder of Bloom Business Management and an online business manager. So, I work with service based business owners, coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, really anyone in the service industry. And I streamline and automate systems so the business is running more efficiently. And I also take over, the day to day so that the business owner has more time to focus on their zone of genius, on really growing the business without running the business. Excuse me. And how I help people is really just getting them out of the day to day. It's, people are working 12 and 13-hour days. They have a lot of things on their plate. They're wearing all the hats. And so managing all of that on top of being the CEO, like straddling that line, is quite difficult when you reach a certain point and there's only so much you can do. So when I come in, it's about project management, team management, systems, then systems building and metrics tracking and all of that, and taking that off of your plate so that you can focus on your zone of genius, your passion, your real reason for starting your business.
Oh, that's great. And Kia, why don't you just go on ahead and give everybody like one of the things that you really like to support and what you would like to see people in the community do more of?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I
For me,
make things a little difficult for you today.
For me, I really like supporting anything in particular to do with homeless kids. I know that there are a lot of homeless people, and not to say that they don't deserve support, but homeless kids really, really pull at my heartstrings. So if you see them or you see any fundraiser or anything like that, I obviously would love for you to support them. And that's what I do, is just support as much as I can and try to give back in those regards.
Well, and this is we are talking about how we can work with the community pay it forward fundraising program, how we work together and how we can help people. Obviously, like Kia was just talking about, if you have somebody who is trying to help kids find homes, families find homes. If you know a nonprofit or somebody who's out there and doing real work, why don't you have them get a hold of us? All they have to do is send us an email or give us to networking@communitypayitforward.us, or they can go to our website, which is communitypayitforward.us. Mr. Z, brother, why don't you go on ahead and give them a little bit of an idea about what you do, please?
Glad to do so, brother man, and thank you for running these events. A little bit about me. I am a web developer and I am also a consultant that can help nonprofits, family business owners, and individuals like yourselves who are not only looking to develop a custom website, but to also maintain and build upon their existing websites. What I believe makes me stand out is that I want people to feel like they're in control of their own website, not feel like they're being held hostage just to make simple changes, update videos, put their contact information, and more importantly, feel that freedom of knowing that this is their website, not somebody else's.
Well, thank you so very much. Wow. I got an echo there. I don't know why I'm getting that echo. But anyway, we've got a couple more people joining us. We've got Jackie Ambro, and we've got our, let's see, what was the title I gave you just a couple seconds ago, Trevor? The inclusion bad boy, bad boy, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. No idea what you're waffling on about there, Zach, to be honest. So it didn't go in.
All right. Well, Trevor, why don't you go on ahead and take a minute and just let people know exactly what you do and why your service is so important?
Well, I appreciate that. You kind of caught me on the spot there, but I've been a marketer for 20 odd years. A lot of that time I have specialized in helping nonprofits to grow themselves in a more organic fashion. So I try to stay away from, I'm going to do your posting, I'm going to do your website, because we have specialist people who do that. I tend to have the more business strategy side behind the marketing. What I have really focused on over the last few years is engagement. And I've done that through the realms of creating a specialized mobile app for every individual charity so they can create engagement, help themselves to generate a revenue stream. And in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, because nobody's been fundraising, I realized that one of the things that was passionate to me was helping people with disabilities. So I make sure that those websites for non-profits or for-profits are actually accessible online to everybody. So up until recently, most websites only accommodate about 75-76% of the population. A lot of people suffering with a disability may have issues in reading or navigating those websites. So I actually provide a service and go through, like I said, it's more business strategy within marketing. So those are some of the areas that I help with.
Trevor, what happens if you get dinged with without being ADA compliant on your website?
On your website, well, first of all, you end up with bad reputation, bad reviews. That would be from the end user themselves, because at the end of the day, your reputation is always paramount. But of course, there is a legal element, and the legality can actually take you to court, and you could be in hot water from anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000 as a penalty. Now, if you're based in California, it's the only state in the US that actually pays out in damages. So not only could you end up with a federal lawsuit on your hands, you could also be paying out $4,000 per incident per person on anybody in California, whether you're based there or not.
You know, I don't know about anybody else on this call, but $4,000 per person on top of a $30,000 fine. Don't think I could afford that very much. So, Trevor, we'll be getting back to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Now we're going to be talking to Mr. Tommy Bopp, who's wearing a wonderful shirt. And why is it a wonderful shirt? Because this gentleman came all the way from his home in Alabama to come to our event, Families, Cubs, and Causes, and he's wearing a proudly support Weld County Service Dogs, which is one of our partners. Tommy, you run a wonderful, wonderful program that you can help people in for-profits, but you really like to help people in the nonprofit world.
Yes, that's right. Hey, first of all, I want to say hello to Mr. Z. He and I had a conversation. I don't remember when, Mr. Z, a couple of months ago, maybe. So it's good to see you. What I do is very simple. I've worked with for-profits doing what I do for almost 30 years, but then 2 or 3 years ago, I started making a transition to focus more on nonprofits. And what I do is review the utility bills and I'm looking for errors and overcharges. There are a few more things that I do, but that's where I always begin, is just looking at their power, gas, water, telephone, solid waste disposal bills. And I'm trying to, first of all, I'm trying to find them some money that they've overpaid. If I find a mistake in their billing, it almost always leads to a pretty good refund because they've probably been overpaying for a few years, and I can get that money back for them so they can get a lump sum, which is nice, but it also lowers their bill going forward. And the way that I operate, there's no risk to the nonprofit. If I don't find anything, there's no charge. If I do, we just share in the savings. And then I also continue to monitor their bills going forward. So I always tell them you can just set it and forget it when it comes to your utility bills, because I'm going to keep an eye on them from now on. If you have a question, you never have to call a utility company again. Just tell me, I'll talk to them. So I become a resource for them and an advocate for them with utility companies. And 90% of the time I'm able to, save them money on their bills. So really that's all I do. And it can make a big difference to a nonprofit's bottom line if they can get a lump sum check and lower bills going forward.
Well, I know that you've only got a couple more minutes, but you have a saying that you love to go by about fundraising.
Yes. Well, I've come up with a couple of different ones. One thing I say is to fund your mission with found money. And that's so appropriate for nonprofits. But one of the reasons, I'll say this real quick, there were really two reasons I started focusing more on nonprofits. One, I had a few nonprofit clients, and they started telling me when COVID hit how much they were struggling, that they didn't have the money that they used to have because the people who wanted to give didn't have the money. So donations were way down, which I couldn't help them. I can help them a little bit with that, with, lump sums replacing the donations. But what I can really do is just make sure everything's correct and that they're paying as little as possible. But the other reason I love working with nonprofits and find it so rewarding is when I save them money, and I've seen this time and time again, they immediately use that extra money to help somebody. And a for-profit business doesn't do that. And I have nothing against for-profits. I'm all for capitalism. But it's just different when you see them take that money and help a child, for example. So, yeah, I like to help them fund that mission with found money. They don't have to do any extra fundraising or anything like that. There's money already out there waiting to be recovered. They just don't know it, and they don't know how to go get it.
Well, once again, Tommy, I know that you got to get running. Can you do me a favor, and in your chat, everybody, can you please put in your information? And if you put in your information, we can share it with everybody who's going to go back and watch this, and we can make sure that everybody knows who was here. So, and now we're going to bring on, it looks like she's got her camera figured out, and she's not busy anymore. So we're going to bring on Jackie Ambro, one of our newest Community Pay It Forward fundraising partners and a mission partner as well. We're going to be helping her wonderful program help other people. Hello, Jackie.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for having the meeting and getting to have us all be on here. And so I do a lot of different things. I am a leading edge practitioner of applied anthropology, hypnotherapy, and advanced EFT, or emotional freedom technique. And I've been working with veterans and other folks for years. And I started my career as an applied anthropologist, running an interpreting and translating company that eventually became 40 languages, 125 interpreters and translators scattered across the globe, mostly in Missouri and eastern Kansas. We had state contracts for all state agencies. And what I did was I supervised all that and trained the interpreters and made the thing happen. And then I advocated for refugees and immigrants for almost 20 years. And that's what I did as an applied anthropologist. Then back in 2008, before I stopped doing that, I went back to school and I became a hypnotherapist. I'm a certified hypnotherapist and advanced EFT practitioner. And what I do is I help people with their subconscious mind get in alignment with what they consciously desire. And I work with people on all levels: mental, emotional, physical, and even spiritual. And I help people find whatever's blocking them and get a strategy and convince their subconscious mind that they really do want to let go of their fear or their pain or their whatever it is that's got them stuck. And you would be surprised at how much the subconscious mind controls all the processes in the body: digestion and elimination, your immune system, and even how your brain is functioning. There was a lady came to me because her husband had a stroke. He was a veteran, and he had a stroke 4 years before. The doctors had given up on him making much improvement, which is something people do in the United States, whereas in Europe, a lot of physicians still expect improvement over years, even decades after a stroke, but not here in the United States. 6 months, and if you haven't improved, then they just kind of say, well, this is your new baseline and this is where it has to be. But this wife, she did her research. She went and looked up the research and found that there was a program in robotics, of all places, at Harvard I believe it was Harvard University. And she found that hypnosis had helped people increase their mobility after a stroke. and that more study was needed, but it had worked for these people that were in the studies for mobility at this robotics program. They were using robotics to help people have more mobility, and they found that they could get more out of these people who had lost some mobility with hypnosis, of all things. So she called me up and said, "Can you work with my husband?" And I said, "Absolutely." And over the months that I worked with him, he was able to get more feeling back into his hand and movement. He was able to bring all, instead of just barely getting his thumb and forefinger close to his thumb and the hand that was affected, he got all 4 fingers closer and 3 of them touching, where he was starting to be able to use his hand again and kick a ball with that the affected leg. He wasn't able to have conscious control over his leg before. He was able to sit up and hold himself up, rising from a lying down to a seated position, and he had not been able to do that before. And so the physical therapists were amazed that, because he was getting supportive physical therapy to maintain his baseline, but he was able to improve, and they were shocked. And this man's a veteran, right? So I was able to help him and a number of other people because of what I know. And that's why I want to reach more people. I want to be able to serve people who can't pay or don't have a lot to pay, because I certainly have done a lot of pro bono work over the years. But I have bills to pay too. And I would like to be more supported so I can reach more people and do more things. And we're expanding to offer one-to-many programs. I am now looking at the idea of creating programs that are of issues for medical and mental health. So the people coming in would have to have a licensed referral from their provider, because I am not a doctor. I don't diagnose or treat as a licensed person. I'm a certified hypnotherapist and advanced EFT practitioner and anthropologist. So, but group work for immune disorders, pain management, mobility after a stroke, ADD, ADHD, PTSD, which, by the way, responds very well to hypnosis and emotional freedom technique, because that stuff lives in your subconscious mind. That's why it comes out when people are stressed. And when the stress increases, they lose control of the front part of the brain, because it literally gets kind of turned off when we go into survival mode. And the back part of the brain, the old childhood strategies learned or the traumatic responses learned, are what come through, because you don't have access to your conscious, mature, wise part of your brain in the front, because the back of the brain is preserved for survival. That's where your heart and lung function is, your large muscle movements, so you can fight or flee. All of that's back in this part of the brain. There are physiological reasons why that happens. So, I'm excited about what is possible working together. I'm excited about what Community Pay It Forward is able to do to create collaborations among people who might not have ever met each other anywhere else, so that we can go out there and serve people and do the work and make a huge difference as time goes on, because it snowballs. What little thing you do and what little thing I do, the more people we reach, the more people we involve, it grows exponentially. And if you understand the power of that kind of collaboration, then you'll be on board for supporting Community Pay It Forward and for supporting the people, like me. I'm not the only one who wants to have support to essentially donate more of my time so I can pay my bills and do the service. So that's why we need to get this organization growing. And so I'm Jackie Ampro, and believe me, if you have a goal, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual, or some of all of that, then you should do a free initial consultation with me, and let's see if we can get you there. The last thing I want to mention is that on Sunday nights, starting April 3rd, my daughter and I have decided we're going to create these sessions where we're going to pull out all the tools and essentially do group work. We will not be medical or mental health, because I have to have a referral for that, but any other kind of vocational or avocational goal or self-improvement that's in my direct responsibility as a certified hypnotherapist, we are going to pull out all the tools. Think of Margaret Mead, working with Margaret Mead and Marissa Peer. Margaret Mead was an anthropologist, and Marissa Peer is a very popular hypnotherapist you may see on TV or on video, YouTube. And your inner Yoda all get to come out and play. And we are going to create a breakthrough for somebody every single week, which we will declare that it is also something that will resonate. Our intention is it will be something that everyone else will get a breakthrough through as well. And imagine coming out to play and starting your week that way every Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. And get this, we're going to charge for this program. You get to come every week for 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how long we're working with someone. Every week, $37 a month.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And this is perfect for those who are training or coaching or working with their own client base, because this is an opportunity to learn the mindset, the insights, the tools, the practices that I use with my clients that work. And it's a much broader base of tools than you would get with just a regular hypnotherapist. So if you want to come learn how to work with people while working on yourself and working in a supportive group, Sunday nights at 7 o'clock, starting April 3rd, my daughter's birthday, we are calling it what she decided it should be called, Makeshift Sessions. Makeshift Sessions. So
there you go.
When I put my stuff in the chat, there's a way for you to subscribe to our emails, because I haven't publicly announced this and it hasn't even gone out to our subscribers. So if you want to get the first emails on how to register, then subscribe to our emails. We don't send out emails unless we have something to say, so we're not going to spam you, but you'll get the first news on how to register and come. And if you don't like it, then you just cancel. It's that simple. You know, you don't have to stay, but if you find value in it and you can turn around and help your clients, why the heck not? We want you to join and just stay and keep coming, because there's going to be something new and different every single week, because it depends on who comes up. And yeah.
Well, that's just great. And I hope you can stick around for a little bit more. We've got one more person who has joined us. And at noon, you guys watched our replay of an interview that we had on the 21st. How's it going, Brian? On 29th, I'm sorry.
It's going, brother. It's going. Been on Zooms all morning, but hey, the mission goes on.
Well, Brian, you are one of our mission partners, and you are trying to get a fob rush built with Project Die Hard. Can you please give a brief explanation on what fob rush is?
Well, fob rush is the blessing of the Lord. It's 20 acres and a 10,000 square foot building that was donated to our mission, Project Die Hard. Our mission is to save veterans' lives, to help them transition from active duty military to the civilian world. When we get fob rush completed, it will house 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families for up to a year. This is why we need as much help as we can get. We understand that only X% has to be ADA compliant in any building, but our goal is to make this whole building ADA compliant. Well, you know, that costs money.
Yes. And you also have an event coming up on July 29th, 30th, and 31st. Can you tell us a little bit about Hope Stock?
Yes, sir. Hope Stock. This is our annual event. It's going to be held at Forward Operating Base Rush in Makanda, Illinois, July 29th through the 31st. It's a weekend of food, fun, fellowship, music, and it's a way for people to come see the facility, see where their money's going. to meet and talk with veterans. If you're a vendor and you want to set up a booth, reach out, contact us. If you'd like to sponsor Hope Stock, reach out, contact us. You can contact Zach. He has all the information on it. He can guide you through that process. But if you're another organization or a person that wants to help veterans, again, reach out, contact us. We can find a space for you to come set up, tell people what you are doing, and if it helps one veteran of the river region, then everything we're doing is worth it, right?
That's right. That's right. It cannot be any better than that. So, Brian, we thank you for joining us today. Now we're going to go on ahead and we're going to bring in everybody, because what we want to do is everybody here has been part of Community Pay It Forward for a little bit. And one of the reasons for this meeting is so we can try to find ways to where it'll work better for all of us. So does anybody have any suggestion on how, because even though we want to make sure that everybody like Brian and Jackie get taken care of, we also want to make sure that we have other people who get taken care of. My buddy John at Martyred Angels, the families who we are working with, the kids organizations that we work with. But we're looking for ways to where we can grow this together and get this in front of everybody's eyes. So we'd like to ask if there's anything that we can do. And we ask anybody who's watching this to please pipe in and let us know what we can do. But does anybody have any ideas on how we can make this start to bear fruit, I guess is the best way to put it? No, nobody yet.
Well,
I'll
take a stab. I was trying to get my dog to stop barking out the door. So,
okay.
Yeah. So one of the things that we need to leverage is the power of the internet. And one of the things that we can do is we're going to be reviving our YouTube channel after we get started with this new program on Sunday nights and the other courses that we're teaching are winding down. Then I'm going to have more time to do the video editing and whatnot to revive our interviews. So I would say that anybody here who's got a YouTube channel or a social media channel where you're going to live stream, aside from this platform, Zach, which you're doing a great job having this regular podcast going on. That's important, but we need to reach out to all of our networks, and all of us reach a little different audience. So if we bring you on to do some interviews, there's how many here are in the health and wholeness or health and wellness space? That's your industry, health and wellness. If you are, or if you're in the financial area, and you have kind of a holistic view, I could see us plugging into Ash Shukla's holistic movement on financial chakras, for example, to help get more visibility. And when we're on other people's channels, we can each mention Community Pay It Forward as, by the way, you could be talking about whatever you're talking about. If you're in an interview or you're a speaker, you can also say, by the way, I participate in Community Pay It Forward, and this is what it does, and we would love to have you be involved. And that's something we can, every one of us can do that, even if we don't have a YouTube channel. And I see Brian has got some great thoughts there, so I'm going to mute.
Well, my thought is this: I'm not a social media expert. That's why I got Zach as a brother. Okay, he helps us out. But I do have a network. So if you're helping veterans, if you have a message for veterans, and you would like to put episodes on our YouTube channel, reach out to me. Let's talk. Because I get nailed all the time. I need more content. I need more content. I need more content. Yeah, let's talk, because I got my hands full trying to raise what do we figure, Zach? 4.8 million to get File Brush totally up and running.
Yeah, a penny or two. Yeah, it was close to 5. Yeah, it was just short of 5. Yep. So
Yeah. So yeah, and that the only thing I ask is that you mentioned Zach. You put in there that this episode is sponsored by Community Pay It Forward and they support Project iHeart. Again, anybody that wants to do that, right? Reach out to me. We'll talk. I'm all for working together.
no, I greatly appreciate that, Trevor.
Well, Brian hit the nail right on the head there. If you want to do anything effective in the community, it's talk to your community. Tell the community who you're with. And with that, it doesn't matter if you're great on social media, Facebook or not. Half the time, those algorithms are not working for you because when you think about what you're going to post, 9 times out of 10, you're going to include a hyperlink because you need the donation or you need someone to book an appointment with you. And unfortunately, algorithms play those down and they only go out to about less than 1% of the people you're trying to connect with it and help. So at the end of the day, you have to be more effective. And the most effective way is, if you have an interview, you have a podcast, get on there, talk about who you're connecting with, who your networking is, because networking is like business. Your business will only succeed if somebody gives you a referral. That referral only comes along if you've made a relationship. And if you constantly make that relationship and make it grow, then you'll get the reputation that you're looking for. And that's what we're all trying to get, is build a reputation, build a referral. And with that, you can actually build those relationships and spread the word to everybody that's here.
Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
Oh, not a problem, Jackie.
Yeah, I would tag on to that, Trevor. That's exactly right. Networking and building a reputation with each other is very important. But we can go a step farther. We can actually create content together. We can do projects together. And right now, we've been working, I and some other women, we've been working with Dr. Robert A. Needham, who is a thought leader in sharing capitalism. And he has been building cooperatives and collaboratives. He built the Happy Co-op for Happy Neighborhood Project. And he was the brains behind that coming into existence. And so he's been working with us to build a women's collaborative. It's just a small group of us women who decided we want to do projects together. So we have a way to figure out how we're going to divide up, how we're going to make it work without having conflicts with each other. So working together in collaboratives, this is what Dr. Needham taught me just last week. He said that the way he's been successful, and he's made multiple millions of dollars, was because he gathered a small group of people around him who had complementary strengths to his weaknesses. And then each of those 5 people, he works with about 5 people closely, and some he's worked with for 20 years and others he's worked with for 12 years or so. And so they know each other well, they can trust each other, and they each take on being the point person for a specific kind of activity they've decided to either invest in, research, or some other way be involved in. And that way they're dividing and conquering up the amount of work that has to be done for any one particular kind of project. And then the person who has the most expertise and the most interest in that area can lead in that area. But then they will assist with other projects they might not be so much of an expert in, or they might be, just not have the energy. It's not their passion, but they'll support the other people. And that is how that's how the most powerful, influential people I know get things done. So if you really want to go farther, it's more than just building a network of relationships and making referrals. We have to actually step up our game beyond referrals to creating content. For example, Brian, if you don't have the background to do the kind of content creation that the veterans you're serving need, then you need to team up with somebody like me and other people who do online courses or live presentations over Zoom, for example. So there are many ways of.
Oh, totally understand. This is I've always put out there for Project iHeart, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
This is why I work with Zach. This is why I work with JR. This is why the Veterans Community Project was born.
Yep.
Every veteran nonprofit within that coalition has their piece of the pie, has their expertise. Ours is the physical location or programs that help veterans. That's our piece of the pie.
Yep. And Brian is very active when it comes to podcasting. He's always in with the Pact podcast. He's always watching and reaching out to people. He's introduced us to one of our great guests this last Wednesday. Was on there. Brian introduced me to him, and he was just fantastic. So Brian really does a great job there. Mr. Z and Trevor, you two are in the web space. Can you guys tell us how we could all maybe improve our SEO?
We'll let Trevor go first because TZ. So.
Oh, how can you improve your SEO? To be honest with you, a lot of SEO doesn't work. Depends on the platform of your website. Search engine optimization. I think the easiest way is forget about all the words, forget about all the paid ads and all the things. If you want SEO to work the best way, keep posting organic information on your website, like a blog. The more content you add, the better the algorithm and the indexes work.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to do it.
I have to agree with that on a marketing standpoint and from an organic point of view. So absolutely, I agree with Trevor on that standpoint. On a technical standpoint, make sure your website loads pretty fast. You don't want to have a website that takes more than 7 seconds to load. Make sure your website's mobile responsive and ADA compliant. You know, that's where Trevor comes in. He can make sure that your website is not only ADA compliant, but also helps your reputation. Having organic leads is very important, and using backlinks. That's very important for your search engine optimization. And soon enough, VEO, voice engine optimization, to cater to those who are now using Siri, Alexa, Google. And I apologize in advance if anyone's Alexas are going off right now. So that's how you can improve your SEO from a technical standpoint.
What about connecting each other's websites on there? So say, like I know that Brian has our logo and website on his, but if you talk to somebody and mention their website on yours, does that help their score?
Absolutely, and that's where backlinks come in. Oh, Trevor, you want to say something?
No, sorry, I didn't know who was going to go for that. So, but yeah, you're totally right, Zach. That if you put somebody's website on yours, it helps. It helps with the indexing, and as Mr. Z was saying, that's what a backlink is all about. So it shows it's down to collaboration again. Don't be afraid to be out there and just be a number one. And I notice in the group here, the African proverb, at the end of the day, if you want to go far, go together. And it's exactly the same principle online. If you are a group of people, your voice will be heard. If you have a group or a set of content that you can share between people that have some alliance with you and some that don't, those that don't will learn something new because you posted it there. So yeah, always work with those backlinks, collaborate with people, and even if you don't see the synergy, just put a note there and say, hey, this is something I'm personally passionate with, and I'm putting it here just in case anybody would like that information.
Yeah, I think
I second that.
Yeah, I'd like to have even the asset, I suppose I could grab it off of something, but I could put it on our website. We actually have a place for the organizations that we support and belong to. And so I could just really easily do that with a link back to Community Pay It Forward. And so if we could have that, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys would like a copy of this video, I can send you the link to it, and you guys can do whatever you would like with that. And you have full rights to anything that we do, because we do this for each other. It's not, it's never a selfish thing. This is always to try to help other people. So I think that what we'll do now, guys, and so I don't take up much more of your time, we're going to go around and just going ahead and give everybody your website and the best way to get a hold of you. How does that sound? Kia, you were first, so let's get you first.
Sure. My website is Bloom, like flower blooming, bloombusinessmanagement.com. And I can be reached at kia@bloombusinessmanagement.com.
Well, thank you very much. And once again, if you have any virtual assistant extraordinaire needs, office management, Kia is very, very brilliant. We got to work with her on the Save 22. And she's very hardworking, and she does a great job. Plus, she'll donate a portion of the job to the mission of your choice. So, so you can be supporting Jackie or Brian simply by shopping with Kia. Thank you very much for joining us, Kia. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Zach, for hosting it.
Yep. We'll be back on the second Tuesday of every month doing this same thing. Just trying to find better ways to make sure everybody knows who we are. So that's really what this is about. We want everybody to know who we are. So, Jackie, how can people get a hold of you, and what's your website?
So the easiest way to get a hold of me is to just go to Transformation Road Trip, all one word, transformationroadtrip.com. And you can also send me an email directly to Jackie, Jackie, at transformationroadtrip.com. If you email us at joygypsies@transformationroadtrip.com, that's the main business address, but it's longer. So the shorthand, Jackie, Jackie, at transformationroadtrip.com. We'd love to hear from
Jackie,
you.
once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's great to get to learn a little bit more about you. Brian, tell us your information, please.
Yes, sir. Our website is projectdiehard.org. And the best way to reach us is our email, contact@projectdiehard.org.
That's great. And if anybody they want to put together a podcast and they want to be able to send it to Brian to put on his channel, you can always get your podcast, your message heard right here on Pact. A lot of you guys are watching it right now. You can record it here and then send it over to Brian. You can really get your own message out. Once again, we're all about trying to get people put together and people working together. Trevor, how do people get a hold of you, my friend?
Talk to you, Zach.
Oh, you're great. Scare them away thinking that's the only way that they're going to get you.
Well, no. I prefer the LinkedIn. So obviously, if you look for me on LinkedIn, you'll get all the contact details there. I have a website, charityrevolution.com. They're the easiest way. I'm also on Alignable. So if you ever look for Charity Revolution or Select Services, they are both there. It's just that one is the corporate name and one is the trading name. But I'm just going through a small transition of rebranding there. So that's why you've got both names. But if you find Trevor Gibbs with Charity Revolution, I'll be up on most indexes and most of the SEO results. So I'm not that difficult to find. Or ask people you know. I'm very big in the networking industry.
And you can find Trevor's information on communitypayitforward.us under the Selected Services banner. We've got him on there right now. So if you're looking for Trevor, he's under the Selective Services banner. Last but not least, Mr. Z, my brother, gave it up, buddy.
Thank you, brother, man. Always nice to be the last person. You can visit my website at www.zworldwebs.com, or you can find me at www.communitypayforward.us/zworldwebs, or you can use the search engine, and I'll be there.
That's awesome. And if you want to see what Mr. Z can do, communitypayforward.us. It's a beautiful website. Funny story about that. I thought I did a great job building my website, and as soon as I saw what Z was doing, I couldn't hardly send people to my website. I was like, can you wait until Valentine's Day before you go look at the website? Because it's going to be so much better. And now it is. So, Kia, Jackie, Brian, Mr. Z, and Trevor, thank you all for this. Let's keep this message going. Let's keep getting together and talking and bringing more people in. You know, the more people know, the better we can do. And we just really want to make sure that this is going to, carry on and do really well for one and all of us. So we will be back on Wednesday night with PACT, and we're going to be talking to helping our healthy heroes, and healing our heroes. Jesus, I know what I'm talking about. Seriously, I do. But we're going to be talking to healing our heroes, and what they do is help our heroes at no cost here in Northern Colorado. So it's a great program. They're looking to get bigger, better, badder. Just get out there and help our heroes who can't afford regular health care. So please make sure that you join us. She's been a really good friend of mine for quite a while. They were out there supporting us as Tommy was on Families, Cubs, and Causes. We want you to come out and check out what they're doing. So please make sure that you join us Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Mountain at right here on PACT, on any of these PACT channels. I invite everybody to come back and join us next month, the second week of the month, or the second Monday of the month, which is going to be the 11th, and it's going to be at same time, 3 Eastern, 1 Mountain. But let's keep this going, folks. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to reach out to us. Networking at communitypayitforward.us, networking at communitypayitforward.us. Please make sure you check out everybody who's joined us today. They do wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work. And not only are they doing wonderful work for themselves, they're doing it for other people. So please remember, nobody has to go it alone when we all come together. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Zach. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.